Some houses are abandoned because people leave them behind. But some houses are abandoned because they are hiding something. When John inherited his grandfather's old farmhouse, he thought he was finally getting a peaceful place to live. A quiet home, a fresh beginning. He never imagined that beneath the wooden floorboards was something waiting for him. Something that had been waiting for years. The farmhouse stood alone at the edge of a forgotten road. No neighbors, no nearby houses, only empty fields stretching into the darkness. John had not visited the property since he was a child. His grandfather was a strange man. He avoided talking about the farmhouse. But there was one warning John never forgot. Never open the kitchen floor. At the time, he thought it was just an old man's fear. Now, standing inside the empty house, he wondered why his grandfather had been so serious. The first night inside the farmhouse was quiet. Too quiet. John lay awake, staring at the ceiling. The old house made strange sounds. The wind, the wood moving, the pipes. Then he heard something different. 3 knocks. Tap, tap, tap. He opened his eyes. The sound came from beneath the kitchen floor. The next morning, John tried to forget what happened. He told himself the old farmhouse was playing tricks on his mind. Old houses make noises. Old houses move. Old houses create shadows. But then he saw something that had no explanation. Footprints. Small, muddy footprints crossed the kitchen floor. They started near the pantry. They ended at the wall. There was no door, no hidden entrance, no broken window. Whoever made those footprints had entered the house without coming inside. That night, John decided he would not react. Whatever was making those sounds wanted attention. He refused to give it any. He turned off the lights. He closed his bedroom door and waited. At exactly 3:17 in the morning, the knocking returned. Tap, tap, tap. But this time it was different. The sound was louder. The entire house seemed to feel it. The walls trembled. The windows shook. Something beneath the floor knew he was there. Fear makes people do strange things. John knew he should leave. Every part of him was telling him to run, but another part of him needed answers. He walked to the shed. He grabbed an old crowbar. Then he returned to the kitchen. The moment he entered, the knocking stopped. The silence was worse. Slowly, he pushed the crowbar beneath the wooden floorboard. The wood cracked. The board lifted. But what he saw underneath was impossible. There was no soil, no basement, no foundation. Only darkness. A darkness that seemed endless. John stood frozen. The flashlight in his hand shook. The darkness below moved. At first, he thought it was only his imagination. Then something climbed upward. A pale face appeared. The skin looked wet. The eyes were empty. The creature smiled, not like a person, like something pretending to be one. John fell backward and slammed the floorboard shut. The knocking started again, but now it was everywhere. John did not wait to understand what he had seen. Some things are not meant to be explained. They are meant to be escaped. He grabbed his keys and ran. Behind him, the farmhouse came alive. The walls shook. The windows rattled. The knocking followed him from room to room. 3 knocks, again and again. As he reached the front door, he heard something whisper his name. John. He froze. The voice was not coming from behind him. It was coming from beneath the floor. He opened the door and ran into the night. The next morning, John returned with the sheriff. He expected to find damage, broken boards, something, anything. But the farmhouse looked normal. The kitchen floor was perfect. No hole, no footprints, no signs that anything had happened. The sheriff looked at John and said, "Maybe you should get some rest." But then the sheriff noticed something. 3 fresh scratches on the wooden floor, right where the knocking had started. John left the farmhouse. He promised himself he would never return. Weeks passed. Life slowly became normal again. He moved into a small apartment in the city. No strange sounds, no nightmares, no knocking, until one night, at exactly 3:17 in the morning, he woke up because he heard something beneath his bedroom floor. John slowly opened his eyes. Standing beside his bed was a child, bare feet, muddy clothes, the same footprints. The child looked down at the floor, then pointed. John could not move. The child opened its mouth, but the voice that came out was not a child's voice. It was thousands of voices together. "He's awake." The child disappeared, and beneath the floor, something knocked back. Nobody knows what was beneath the farmhouse. Some say it was never a house at all. Some say John's grandfather knew exactly what lived there, and some believe the knocking was never trapped beneath the floor. It was waiting for someone to open the door. Because sometimes the things we discover in the dark discover us first. 3 knocks. Tap, tap, tap.